Welcome to the Alien Probe Podcast. Today is June 3rd, 2023. I'm Doug, joined again today by MUFON Matt.
Woohoo!
How's it going, Matt? How was your week?
My week was good.
Did you pick up any dead bodies?
No, don't jinx us.
Matt's not a mortician.
Yeah, I am not. Don't jinx us. I can see what's in my can, so no. I'll just leave it.
Hey, so we're going to talk about a couple things we're going to talk about today.
All right.
First of all, I'm going to lead off with we got a comment. We're going to talk about Skinwalker Ranch just for a minute.
Yep.
And then we're going to roll into the NASA. That was this week, right?
Yes, it was. Yep.
That was a 3.5 hour marathon.
3.5
You listened to the whole thing.
I did. I listened to the whole thing.
You're the man. And you spared me. You said, don't bother.
Yes, do not bother.
Which I can ignore stuff.
Right.
And then we're going to roll into... right into the Steven Greer interview with Blake Cousins with the third phase of the moon.
That's right. So
let's jump right into it. Regarding the Skinwalker Ranch, this is a comment from Arcade Music Tribute, and thank you very much. And there's a little delay, and I like to always, somebody, especially if you comment this extensively,
right,
I like to kind of read it. Regarding the Skinwalker Ranch, you might not want to believe these commercial people who are making the show on Bigelow, but personally I believe the Shermans who owned the ranch in the 90s. Their accounts sound honest to me. First of all, they're so bizarre and out of the ordinary that I'm not sure anyone could have come up with that kind of stuff unless they were on drugs. I surely feel that if they made that stuff up, they would have come up with a more coherent story. One that resembles a movie or book or horror lines, storylines or that kind of thing. The story was more like watching a David Lynch movie.
I remember that guy.
Who is that guy? like dogs in trench coats smoking cigarettes. Creatures cloaked like in the Predator movie, trickster activities and time loops, that type of thing. And it goes on, but thank you, Arcade Music Tribute. Yes, I'm not a Skinwalker fan, but they've got my watch every time. I watched one episode in the third season, which is the newest season. You haven't watched it yet?
Well, I've watched all of the last season, but it's still continuing. Oak Island for UFOs.
That's what I say.
Yep.
Oak Island for UFOs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what. Just want to. That's all I really want to say about Skinwalker. I know Elder at work. He likes it. Where he's going to come on. We're going to talk about the episodes.
Right.
He loves it. I'm going to dirt it. He's going to be ready. Elder, if you're listening, get ready.
Good cop, bad cop. It's kind of.
So we're not joined today by EBE2, just couch here today.
Or Max.
But Max is not here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Max isn't here either. He's at the river.
He says roof.
He's at the river, as he always does.
Yeah, right.
He's always barking. He may pop in before we're done.
He gets his little 2 cents in there.
Yeah, and Debbie had to get up and close the window last time because the dogs were barking.
Oh yeah, I heard that. That was
I just
great.
kept reading.
That was great.
We're still doing Serpo, but not today. And I want to mention thank you to everyone that Serpo is really taken off.
Yeah, that's great.
As far as a listenership.
Yeah.
Mostly in Omni or podcast platforms.
Yeah.
So we're on about 63 podcast platforms, and I can see where everybody's listened to the 5th one and went, holy crap.
Right.
I want to see how it starts.
Right.
We're only through about half the book. So
that's crazy.
In the beginning, I told Deb, I go, it's going to be about 44 episodes by the time we get through it. And it won't be 44, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be at least 12.
Yeah, it's good though.
It's a good story.
It's worth it, right?
It's a good story. So anyway, this week we had the lovely, we had the NASA
deal.
The
panel deal.
Why did they come out? Is this scheduled or what?
So NASA decided that they wanted to investigate into UFOs with all the talk, with all the Senate stuff. They decided that they're going to get back into the game of trying to figure out what UFOs are.
What's ARRO for then?
Exactly. So it's I noticed that ARRO has NASA by the quintessential, those. So I think they kind of, I don't know if they got dragged in this, they wanted to deal with this. And you got to remember, this is a whole new kind of younger NASA. Not like back when...
They don't have those skinny ties?
Yeah. You know what? Sean did not wear the bow tie, so I actually started really listening to him. So he did not wear the bow tie.
Was he talking in this?
Yes, he actually got up there.
It's ARRO.
Yeah, and NASA. I mean, they're both pretty much government-funded entities. So, yeah, I mean, if you remember when he talked at the Senate, he said he kind of wanted to get NASA involved, and that's exactly what he kind of did.
Well, they have the tools, and I understand.
They do.
They should have the tools, and this is an argument I have with Corey at work. Well, I don't have an argument, but
right.
He has a very strong opinion that NASA should have everything to see anything.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Right? And so I'm like, okay, kind of.
Right.
But that's a true statement.
Yeah.
I mean, but not everything, but they should have a lot of stuff.
And I agree. They should be pointed out away from the Earth, looking at everything we can't see. They see pretty much the moon and all that. So, yeah, they can see anything out there. But are they going to tell us?
Yeah. So what is it? What's the revelations from the 3.5 hours?
Again, to me, I think someone told me NASA, never a straight answer. There was one decent revelation, and that was what Sean had said about metallic orbs are everywhere, making very interesting maneuvers, and the U.S. government doesn't know what they are.
Yeah, it's as we were talking about a few minutes ago. You saw that video,
yes,
of the orb that came down, the grainy. 1970s probably video,
right?
The video, that giant camera they have.
Yeah.
But it was weird. If it was so bad that they couldn't have made it up.
Right. So because that would have made it look nicer if it was.
But it came down, and the orb came down into the crop, and made all those, and they were very intricate designs.
Oh yeah, the 90s. Yeah, that was in England too, with the one where that went through and made that crop ones. Yeah, There's a
lot of crop circles.
So they are admitting that there's metallic orbs everywhere. That was the key to me was what they said everywhere. It wasn't just Baghdad. It wasn't just in the when they had the Middle East things. It sounded like that they're finding them all over the place, and they have no clue. So I think that's a pretty good revelation. They also said 2% of the actual reported pilot sightings are anomalous. Thank you. And we kind of knew that. We knew that 5% of them were not, and then the 95% probably can be explained. So that's not really new,
Yeah, but it's still something.
It is something. What I didn't understand about the whole thing was the scientists were kind of bitching about data. Oh, we need better data. We need, the only way we're going to figure this out is have better data. Well, I mean, you guys are looking in dark deeps of space every day. And what are you screaming that there's not going to be better data so you can figure out, if that's a planet or if that's an asteroid or you know what I mean? So do the best with what you got, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they say they all, and I haven't heard this myself, but I've heard that with the ISS, they get feed cuts because they say there's ships up there,
right?
And they'll start talking about it and they'll cut the feed.
Yeah, and they said that. They don't cut the feed. They literally said, because that was one of the questions that the public asked, do you cut the feed when something anomalous, I don't know why I can't say that word today, happens? And they're like, absolutely not. We never have done that.
They're lying.
Right. right.
Because their mouths are moving.
Yeah. And the hand, you see the hand in the back. Where's that hand going into? Anyway, yeah.
Corey says that people on, ham radios or something, that people can listen to everything. Yeah, there is. I've heard that too. There's no cut on that. They just keep talking about whatever.
Yeah.
And then, okay, well, let's record those. I think some of them may have been recorded.
Yeah, I mean, I think I sent you the link for the guy who does the old, he's done a few documentaries, I cannot remember his name, on how NASA was hiding a lot of stuff on UFOs back in the mission launches and stuff like that. Apollo. Yeah, 3.5 hours. It was. I'm like, somebody's got to listen to it. So I listened to it, and it's definitely not worth it.
Thanks for saving me 3.5 hours out of my life.
Yeah, science jargon, a few jokes about haystacks.
Well, it would have been good with this as someone who had the recording of everything.
Yeah.
Would have been able to come in. No, we don't do anything. Oh, really?
Right.
Play is probably a cassette.
Right.
Play. So what about this?
Right.
And they would be like,
right.
But they never do that. It's just a one-sided, whatever we say is right. And live with it, public, because you're not getting any answers.
They also made a joke. Well, they were kind of upset. They started off about how they're verbally attacked online in reference to the stigma of believing in UFOs. And I'm like, well, welcome to the UFO community. We've been dealing with that for 70 years. Have a seat. We're going to give you a hug later on. Take a number, because this has been happening for a long time.
Yeah. Welcome to the party.
Yeah. Welcome to the party. I think on the one part, was it Sean? Somebody made a comment that in one of the videos, I think it's the 3, if you watched it, there's 3 dots. And
is this the one where you said, I'm calling bullshit?
Yes, that's exactly. That's exactly. He said the military plane was unable to intercept the objects, which turned out to be commercial aircraft headed towards a major airport. So you're telling me these billion-dollar fighters we have cannot catch a commercial airline? I don't believe that.
Maybe the commercial's faster than we think.
Yeah. What, they warp drive? They got warp drive on? Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they're not getting there that quick. Yeah, I called bullshit on that one, by the way.
Yes, I got a text in the middle of the week that was probably this long. I mean, sorry. It took 2. I just kind of threw it on you. I had a copy and
I threw it on you on that one.
I'm like, holy crap, he's busy.
Yeah,
he's on fire.
I was on fire at work, by the way, too. On my lunch break.
He was on break.
Yeah, I was on my lunch break.
Fast typer.
They also said 800 events in 27 years. I don't know if that was a technical screw up, but I'm pretty sure it was more than 800 events in 27 years. So what are we going back to? 2000? No, we're going back to 1990 something.
It's probably this what were reported by FAA?
Right. Yeah,
they were a lot of. You got to remember, just recently they reduced the stigma of the UFO reporting and reduced the possibility, and I say not eliminated.
Right.
Reduce the possibility of retribution to a pilot by pulling his or her flight status.
Yeah. I mean, they're still pushing for. They want people to report these.
Yeah, I think they've grown beyond. I think they've grown beyond the you're crazy.
Yeah, I give them shit, I give them crap, but right. Also, 100 more reports were added this time from the NASA thing than when he addressed this Gillibrand.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's showing that however long that took. I mean, that's quite a large amount. Actually, I think it was more. There was like 150 reports. They had a couple of really good questions posed to them by the public, and one of them was, "Are you hiding something?"
Yeah.
So
they're not hiding anything.
Yeah, right.
So they're white. I mean, ARRO. I thought ARRO would. Now they all of a sudden want to be. I thought NASA didn't want to be involved with a government. I don't know what happened here.
They jumped in. They're like, we want a part of this. They were like, we want to be the talk on discovering on what UAP and what UFOs are.
We got them. We got ARRO. We got Galileo.
I think they should stay in space. When we're talking if we're seeing these things in our atmosphere, I really think that should be dedicated to ARRO. NASA can stay in space. Just go back to your space station and look out, not in. So
and tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah, right.
They don't want to do it, and that's will come to our last when we come to our last segment.
I gave him a 2 out of 5 for bad Yelp review for.
You didn't give him a good Yelp review.
No, I did not. I did not give this whole NASA thing a good Yelp review.
Sensitive to the Yelp review.
I did hear positive things. That it's at least it's getting the talk out there. It's trying to make this kill the stigma on the belief of what is out there with UFOs and stuff like that. So,
did you know what Yelp was invented?
What? No.
It was invented so you could go online and talk about restaurants and things.
Oh, not in a bad way.
Not to or say how good they are.
Right.
But people are using it as a tool to, my stuff's not whatever, you know. It's like to bash people.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like, well, I didn't really realize it was going to be this successful. Yeah, thank you.
Right.
I mean, it's good, you know, but you can go on there and say anything you want, and then the restaurant or whatever can say, well, that's not really true. That didn't happen. But nobody's going to believe it.
Right.
So, you know, it's an interesting concept. That's for sure. I mean, it's a good tool if you're looking for...
I use it, you know.
As long as you're
I
truthful.
take it with a grain of salt. You know, I still want to hear what they're going to say. But
as long as the good stuff is more... If you saw a couple things pop up...
It seems more positive than negative, I think. I guess it depends on what you're looking, you know, into it for anyway.
But I'll look at them, see...
Yeah.
I'm, you know, as a tool if I want to use somebody or something.
Yeah. So for me, the whole thing, when they're basically concluding that everything is optical illusions, pilot error, or atmospheric illusions, and that course only 5% is actual. Well, let's look at the actual ones. Let's start. I mean, and I think I remember that starts. You know, the whole Senate thing starting with, we're not worried about the 95% of what we explain. We want to deal with the 5% there or 2% that we can't explain, and that's why that ARRO was basically made, to do that part. So let's stop showing the videos of what we can explain and start showing the videos of what we can't explain.
Did they give us any video? They gave us
They gave us another video. Again, the other video was, but it was explained one. It was the 3 dots. And they're just kind of make weird movement, and I want to say concocted a story. I don't know why I want to say that, but they came up with the explanation.
Shocking.
Yeah, that there was three commercial jets headed to an airport. They were and I think one guy even went on there. An old pilot said that, you know, you are going to have pilot error. So I agree with that. You know.
There can be anomalies. I mean, there can be.
My own opinion is I think NASA should stick to space and not deal with the UFOs here in the atmosphere. Maybe let somebody like Avi Loeb or some kind of private organization deal with that, because, you know, they got their hands full in there, and they're barely. I mean, NASA's barely in anything anyway.
Yeah, it's more Elon Musk.
Yeah, your buddy Elon Musk is running away with it. So, you know, and he's doing good. He's spending his own money too. So you might want to keep that in mind.
Exactly. So that's NASA, and you have anything else?
Yeah, I put NASA would be a bad hire for the study of UFOs at this point. Their time has kind of come and went.
Fire them.
You're fired.
Well, give them a verbal warning first. You know,
slap on the hand.
Give them a, you know.
Come up with something better. Stop bitching about the data. Just get it done. Yeah, my boss. If I told my boss, you know, I can't do these cans aren't. He would be like, then go find another job.
So we're going to roll into, and the reason I'm going to read this, you know, this is just an excerpt from, I'm about done reading through myself.
I can't get enough of that. So.
Reading ahead on Serpo.
Right.
And I'm almost done. But my son, one of my kids was over, but he's 25. He came over, and he's out of my 3 kids, my 3 boys. He doesn't believe any of this.
Yeah. It's like, you guys are nuts, Dad.
He calls me, first of all, he calls me a nerd all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not a nerd.
I would take that as a compliment.
I know. I guess.
Yeah.
He calls me other things, too, but he calls me a nerd. I mean, I think it's because I do that. You know, how did you know, this didn't even come about until after my last marriage. Because this really fell off the deep end. So,
nerd dad.
Dad's a nerd. So anyway, he said, so why? He does ask good questions, though. He says, why is the government even care if they know about this?
That's a good question.
Why do they even care?
Right. That's a really good question.
You know, and I'm just going to read an excerpt out of good old
Serpo.
Called Free Energy. And in the early 1920s, Dr. T. Henry Morey, who was a boyhood admirer of Nikola Tesla, built a free energy device weighing about 60 pounds with no apparent power input that produced 50,000 watts of electricity for several hours. Despite all the publicity surrounding this device, the U.S. Patent Office never granted him a patent.
What?
Morey met with constant opposition. He was frequently threatened. His laboratory was broken into and robbed, and he was actually shot in the street and in his own office.
Oh, shoot.
And there's other instances of free type energy.
Right.
So my point to him was the government, and we're going to roll into this when we talk about the Steven Greer interview with Blake Cousins. And the reason is we don't... These entities don't want this technology out.
Right.
They're letting things out slowly, it seems.
Right.
Because, we have advanced. I mean, there's people out there that say, we say, well, after Roswell, things really shot forward.
Right.
Well, if you see where we were in 47 compared to where we are, really, we're not, we're so far advanced.
Right. Than
we were then.
Yep.
Did we naturally...
Almost, 100 years,
did
that's
we
fast.
naturally just come about this technology?
Right.
Are we that smart? I just don't think...
Yeah.
We're that
I've
smart.
struggled with that for years. How did it shoot so fast?
So there's an entity, and then, of course, we talk about a government. We have our government, which is the we the people government.
Right.
And then we talk about, we're probably going to get out, we're going to get off after this. But there's this government that we know, Joe Biden,
The forward-facing government.
So the traditional, we'll call it the traditional government.
Right.
And then above that, and here's where people will be turning us off. I don't know. Okay, let's preface this by saying I'm just regurgitating the information that I'm getting. I don't see this evidence. I see evidence of this only in what is being reported out there.
Right.
That being said, Steven Greer interviewed with Blake Cousin, who does the third phase of the move.
Yep.
And this was put out by our MUFON. Did you see it on the
MUFON
Facebook?
Yep.
And so, in our MUFON, I don't know what her actual title is, but she's our director.
Let's just say.
Our president.
I call her president.
President.
but on chapter.
Put it out there, and I'm like, that looks interesting. So I listened to it. It was an hour.
Yeah.
It's not very long. It's not like the NASA thing.
Right.
But it was much more interesting.
It's very condensed, and that was good.
And Steven Greer's been... about he was a doctor.
Yes. Yep.
Gave up his practice to study disclosure on UFOs and extraterrestrials. And as he did most of the talking during this interview.
He did.
And he's going to come out with, he's going to have a meeting with the NPC National Press Club next weekend, which will be...
June 10th, 11th, 12th.
And this is going to be interesting. This new government, he's stating, not new government, it's been around a long time.
Yep.
It's unconstitutional, illegal, and treasonous with no oversight from the president or Congress.
Subpoenas and prosecution.
Yeah. The game will be up in the next few months. Prepare the public for all of us for the charges that will be coming over the next 6 to 12 months.
He was throwing it out
as
there.
All of this will begin to unflow, So disclosure project there, it'll be between 12 and 2. There'll be a VIP on the 10th and 11th, I think.
That's exactly what it said.
That's where congressmen, the vice president.
Right.
Gavin Newsom, I don't know.
100 seats.
Yeah. Is that 500? Is those the ones they're selling?
I think so. Well, he said he kept a certain amount for people that...
100. There's 100 seats.
Yeah.
So it's basically witness, military, and civilian and basically government contractor whistleblowers.
Yep.
A lot of retired people are going to come and speak here.
This is a big event from what he's saying.
This is going to be, if this actually happens the way he says it's going to, This would be huge, and you've heard it here first.
That's right.
If you hadn't heard it there first.
Right here.
Alien Pro Podcast, breaking news.
Yeah. He's calling everybody out.
I don't want to see any black.
So be scared.
I want to see any black Suburbans.
Right, yeah, black, with glasses
shooting
on.
up the front of my,
Hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Again, this isn't my story, but again, he mentioned some of the things he's going to talk about.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And it's a disclosure project, basically. There's a person in a Marine battalion in Indonesia in 2009 with 5 buddies that came across a 300-foot man-made UFO unloading drugs and illegal weapons. He should have let off with this.
Yeah.
Multiple witnesses that were threatened, that saw it, that came upon this, because these guys came upon this thing, were threatened with execution, having to sign non-disclosure agreements. And he's come forward. He was brought in. They're saying that these guys are coming through a process based on what happened last year with that little-known legislation or whatever it was that allowed people to come forward without retribution to their pensions.
NDA, if they're signing NDAs, isn't illegal drugs and weapons aren't going to automatically kind of like, yeah, you can come out and say this.
Trump that?
Yeah, I was thinking but who knows? I don't know what I'm talking about.
So anyway, they're vetted. I don't know if they're vetted, but they run through it. When they come forward,
He said they were most of these were
they
vetted.
go through. They're vetted, and they come through a certain system that allows them to be immune to retribution from the government.
Right.
But he's taking it a step forward. He's taking it a little bit further.
Yeah.
And that was a really great. That was one of them. The other one was. They said this guy's going to be. These people are going to be presenting.
Right.
So we're going to be waiting. If I don't have to pay $1 million to see it.
You are.
Debbie was going to. I said, we're going to sit down and watch YouTube all weekend. She's like, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
Record it.
She's like,
record it.
Cut. Yeah, right. You're going to watch.
We need to. So what we're going to do, we're going to run through these, but before I forget to mention that you and I are, after this is over, I'm assuming we're going to be able to see it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do another show that's going to say, this really happened.
Right.
Or Steven Greer's an a-hole.
He's not true.
Mr. CE5 money grab is a liar. Or just never got anywhere. So, the other was another
I
few
want to
years.
believe this is true.
I want to believe
I want to believe.
So we're going to sit down again, like we do.
Yes.
The UFO community.
Yeah.
Since 1947. And we're going to look at the next thing that happens. And some of the other podcasts, that one of the problems I have with other podcasts, and I try not to do this, is, and I've done it, we have over 140 episodes.
Right.
And we have talked about everything. I don't want to say everything. We've talked about a lot of things.
Right.
And I don't want to keep talking about the same thing. And what they do is they'll develop a new podcast, and then they'll talk about the same thing they've been talking about.
Stop. Yeah, right.
That they always talk. Bob Lazar.
Right.
Was it true or wasn't it?
Right.
I don't think. Let's talk about Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
Was he really there? His pay stub said he was only there 2 weeks.
Right.
He couldn't get his security clearance.
But they make a whole giant episode of
his
it.
His wife was having an affair with their flight instructor.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard it. Okay?
Yeah.
100 times.
Yeah, if you follow this subject.
This is why when I bring you on, you join me, that we want to talk about something that's like this.
Yeah, something newer, something that's developed.
We may talk about some old things.
Yeah, we could throw that in there.
But as we go along. So the next thing was Nellis Air Force Base, which is Area 51.
Yeah.
Brought through the system and handed over a person that was there.
Yeah.
I didn't get handed over information to the government, and is demanding. This person
was demanding a follow-up.
I think he was a contractor.
Yeah.
This person was a contractor. On the USS Eisenhower, massive objects as they were going to enter the Mediterranean.
Yep.
And I say Atlantic.
Yeah.
Target systems went black. All the nuclear weapons went offline. This guy is he's top secret, CIA, NSA cleared. This guy wants to allegedly wants to come forward and say, okay, stop the madness. Let the public know there's something is going on out there. Either we're hauling drugs with UFOs.
As soon as he said all that, I was scared. I started looking out my window because I'm listening to this, and I'm like, how's he sleep at night?
I don't know how this guy. I would find it very difficult. Nobody cares about us ranting about.
No.
People are always ranting about this.
Yeah, that's very true.
If somebody showed up at my door, you got to stop talking about this.
Yeah, no.
I'm a lot bigger than I think.
Yeah.
But we're not.
Right.
They're just, everybody's like, yeah, he's full of crap.
Yeah, right. Again, the stigma continues.
Another facility. We have a lot more information than that. Yeah, another facility in the desert. Didn't say which desert.
It didn't. You're right. I noticed that.
It just said the desert, but I mean, I'm assuming this person's going to come out and tell us some more. They're going to get into much greater detail. I'm assuming. I'm
guessing California because that's where this thing is at, right?
This thing's going to be. Where this thing is they're going to be in Washington D.C.
Oh, they are in Washington. I believe, right.
Yeah, because the National Press Club.
That's right.
At a facility in the desert in 2000 and 2001, to Raytheon, and Raytheon's one of those companies like Raytheon, Lockheed,
Skunk Works.
They're. I believe personally, this, and again, I don't have anything in my hand that shows this. Proves it.
That's all right.
I think Lockheed is reversing. I think they're big.
Yeah.
And Greer states that there is someone, they're going to name names and they're going to name companies.
Woo!
And that are in this. And again, we're going to regress a little bit. Because you know how I hate recap, but I'll do it anyway. We're this government that's above we the people. Remember, this is what we're talking about. This is what he's talking about. I shouldn't take credit because I don't want it.
Right.
He's talking about a government that's operating in, and when they talk about black projects, he's stating that we don't know where that money goes.
No.
So he's stating that there's funding coming
Billions.
in. He's stating that our government, we the people, don't really know where that money's going.
Right.
But we just rubber stamp it. Shut up. We need it.
Yep.
Just shove that cash
It's
in
going
there.
to some kind of defense.
And it's going into defense, and we need that.
Right.
So we can't cut you. If you talk about the government, and we talk about what we just went through.
Right.
Really what we just went through this week when they decided to, when they talked about the budget and us running out of money.
Yeah, trillions of dollars.
Just print more. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
And
we don't need the gold behind the back.
Then, I don't know if you noticed, they decided in the next 2 years you can't even ask for this to be a problem.
Right.
And I went, oh, that's interesting. They kind of blew by that part. I'm going to Biden.
I signed it.
Where's my walker? So, Raytheon. Anyway, so 2 Raytheon officials and 2 different man-made triangular objects.
So how does he know that?
How does he know
that they're man-made? I noticed the wording.
Yeah, he did, and that's what he said too.
Yeah.
I don't. He says man-made because he talked about it being.
Are these the triangles with the 3 lights and the one different light?
We're talking about something. I don't know if we're talking about what Colin Saunders was talking
about. Yeah, the basic,
His was coming from another dimension. Maybe we already are able to do that.
I don't know.
Who knows? Right?
I noticed he said man-made. How does he know that they're man-made? Maybe that's kind of a hint on what he does know, but he really doesn't want to basically say out.
And a lot of this is that you got to kind of read into it.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Lost my cursor. Okay, so... and one man in a very state-of-the-art, top-secret facility, more so than Area 51, at Dugway Proving Grounds in Dugway, Utah. And,
Area 52.
If you listen to... Yeah, you've heard the episode then?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of our episodes I talked about, and Dr. Bill was actually based at Dugway.
Oh, was he?
But he didn't think of that. I didn't see anything. It's gigantic. I think it's the size of Rhode, if I remember
right. Oh, gosh, really?
The base is
That's huge.
Gigantic. I mean, in there. So it's in Utah. Maybe it's Skinwalker's in Utah, right?
Yeah.
And so is...
Yep.
Do you ever watch Blind Frog Ranch?
No, I know. I heard about it, but have yet to watch it yet. No,
our brains are too full of this.
Really.
I don't even have time for the new Skinwalkers. But I hear, if anybody wants to know, I heard that they think there's a UFO in the Mesa.
Yes, yeah.
They keep hitting it with
dome, and it goes under, and it's metallic, and it's giving off that 1.6 frequency hertz. Yeah,
like your microwave does.
Yes, anyway, somebody's cooking a big hot pocket.
Anybody have that hot pocket?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the. Oh, I didn't.
ET hot pocket.
So he was working for a corporation as a contractor, and he saw it look like a partial human or partial extraterrestrial person. One was dead and one was alive. Oh, I'd really want to come forward and talk about this.
Yeah.
This is the guy that's going to get it first.
Yeah,
he's going to be the one. He's going to get it.
Where did he go? He just disappeared one day.
With apparent genetic experience. If it gets out that we have a government, I don't even know why they're calling it a government. We're going to talk about later on how they're going to deal, how Greer feels that this should be dealt with.
Yeah.
And it's a very compelling... I was talking to Debbie about it last night. I go, do you know what they want to do?
Right.
And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that when we get a little later in this. Another time he saw an extraterrestrial vehicle being examined by a group of scientists. He has building numbers. He has the entry point in the desert. He said there was 1,000 cars. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did catch that. Imagine flying over and going, why is there 1,000 cars
in the middle of the desert? With nothing here.
God, that screams something's here.
Well, it begs the question. There's 1,000 people there, and none of these people
are talking.
Ever say anything.
Right. That's really hard to believe. And I believe all kinds of crazy stuff.
I'm getting pretty up there in age now. And one thing I really realize, and people just can't shut the fuck up.
Right. Exactly right.
So I don't really know.
Right.
I don't really know. They have 1,000 cars. Could have been some carpooling.
Maybe they're paid so well, they're like, I'm not saying it.
Well, that's part of the thing here that he kind of goes into is these people are paid a lot of money.
Right. Right.
And he said, no, they don't really want the revenue faucet to be shut off.
Right, exactly.
That's the first thing that's going to happen if you come forward.
Shut up, take your money, go buy whatever you want.
Where's my direct deposit? Well,
that's right.
You should have shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
Your money would have been in there. So, the 1,000 square... So anyway, what he's saying is...
crazy. 13,000
the entry point
that
does it, and then there's an underground facility there that he says is 1,300 square miles.
I thought he said 1,000. 13,000.
1,300 square miles.
Square miles.
13,000, dude. That'd be a lot.
That would be like another state.
That'd be big. Not acres, because people are like it's probably 1,300. No,
it's miles.
Probably deep underground.
That's
and these, what do they call them? Deep underground. I've
heard a few stories about deep underground in the middle of the desert facilities.
Dumbs. Yeah, military bases.
Yeah.
Dumbs.
And this is like early 70s, I think I'd heard a story of a lady saying that her father worked somewhere out in the middle of the desert. There was a hole that had an elevator, and it took him straight down for about 20 minutes. And it was deep underground. She said it was like a whole city. So again, that's not new.
Where was she?
This is on some kind of show or podcast. When I remember, I'll send you the link so you can hear it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, please do. I'd like to see that. We may go over an hour on this, but if we aren't done, we're just gonna keep plowing through it.
Okay.
It's possible it could end briefly. So anyway, there's a series of folks getting me information regarding other events that are making drawings. The contractors that have seen things, they can't take pictures, but they're
right. But they're going to show you remember crayons. And
I understand. There's a lot of things that you do where, and I've just had one this week where they didn't allow cell phones, other than the fact when I saw Bill Burr and Bill Burr, the comedian.
Yes, the comedian.
You
Yep.
like him?
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
love
He's
Bill
hilarious.
Burr. I saw him when he was down.
And they took your cell phones away?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
really?
took our cell phones and they put them in this bag.
Oh, shoot.
And they give you. How do we know it was ours? I can't remember how they knew which one was ours.
Right. Probably your seating or something.
And they took our cell phones, and it was kind of crappy. I always have a.
Was this at the venue or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took it and they
That's
wouldn't allow us to have.
Because we saw Fluffy there and they didn't take my cell phone. So that's probably a new thing.
So anyway, they're giving you can't take pictures.
Right.
So,
or video or any of that. Right.
There was a man who worked in the Deep Black Project in the Pentagon. He was deployed at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where there was an underground facility where he saw an extraterrestrial vehicle.
Right.
So I guess we're hiding this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's definitely not in the open in front of the Walmart parking lot. Set up as a.
Yeah, it's. I know someone who worked at Moffett Field down in Santa Clara,
right,
San Jose, and they said that they went. It's somebody's pretty close to us, and they said they worked there. And they said there's definitely an underground facility.
Yeah, I think there's one in Travis too, because my dad was stationed there. And I remember a co-worker of hers saying, "See that building out there that said SAC on it, strategic area?" He goes, "Yeah, it's a little building, but it actually there's some kind of elevator or stairway that leads something." So I think a lot of these have underground situations. Some we know about, some we
So they mentioned the boot, and this is something I haven't. I just kind of put this in there. They mentioned one of the, and this is an investment company. It's called Booz Allen, and we're really going to get off. Booz Allen Hamilton. Booz Allen Hamilton was in one of they put this person in the underground facility. They weren't supposed to be there. I don't know how this person got in there.
Okay.
This is what this guy talked about. He
right.
says he got in and to get a leg up on the extraterrestrial vehicle.
Right.
So they're involved. I've heard they're not the only. They're not the only people that are involved in this as an investment. It's weird, an investment firm, and they've been around since 1936.
Oh my gosh!
I looked. You
looked that up, right? Okay.
Yeah, they're a consulting firm.
Right.
With expertise in analytics, digital engineering, and cyber security. Probably.
Right.
We help businesses, government, and military organizations transform.
Oh, we're definitely.
So they. Yeah, so they are in the know about a lot of stuff.
Right.
So they read into projects that have been, this person was read into, that means they were brought into the project that had invisibility technologies.
Yeah, he did say, he was
satellite weapon systems, as well as an underground research projects in Triangle. I didn't look into this. Triangle Park, North Carolina.
There's a place called Triangle Park.
You could probably Google it, Boomer.
Yeah.
So in North Carolina, that's what my son does. Every time I ask my son, he doesn't like to be
Google it, Boomer.
He doesn't like to be IT. Hey, I don't know how he made. Yeah, it took us a year. We're in Studio B here, and it took a year to get in here because in Studio B I'm using Apple technologies out there. And I don't like Apple.
Yeah.
Now it's probably going to freeze up because it can understand.
Now we're definitely going to get taken out.
Now all of a
just
sudden,
talk bad about Apple.
How come it's not recording anymore?
Yeah, right. Apple's like, cut.
So I talked to my son. I won't tell you which one. And I say, hey, what about, because he has Apple. Him and Dr. Bill
we're
on me about this Apple thing.
Right.
If you ever notice when we recorded, and you've been here in a few episodes, when I recorded in Studio A, which is the bedroom.
Yeah. Don't give away
I keep the window open. So,
you're giving away the secrets.
So, Matt can jump out if he has to. So.
That's when the black vehicles pull up.
The black Escalade rolls up. So we were in there, and I bought all this equipment. Not all this equipment. I bought some equipment to also be in here, so because it's more comfortable when I have guests.
Right.
When you're in the other room, it's a little tight.
Yeah, you're a little tight.
And I would be, because sometimes there would be, if there would be a female that wanted to come on, it's like,
right.
I would have to probably have an escort.
Yeah. Right.
You're going to have to come in with us.
Yeah, we need that third party.
So now we're in here. We're using Apple, but when I'm in there, it's smooth.
Yeah.
I use PC and everything goes smooth. Here, it's like I logged in this morning and I can't move my cursor from one screen to the other. All of a sudden.
Apple's
and
good.
I'm like,
Apple's good.
Why it only goes like,
oh, yeah,
because
you're
the
right.
screen, it doesn't now, but
okay.
What it was doing, it would go like,
It's
so
stuck.
when it goes to sleep for too long, it gets pissed off. And it makes your screen, your displays go the reverse.
Right.
So I have to change the orientation of the screens.
Right.
So that I can move the cursor. Otherwise, I have to move it. I can get it up to the screen, but I have to move it. Everybody's like, "Why are you talking about that?" So I have to move the cursor. So everybody knows you have to move the cursor all the way down to get it to come down the top of the top screen.
If you see him fighting off screen, that's what he's doing.
So then, I call IT, and he's like, "Google it, boomer." So you got to put it on. Yeah, you got to put the cursor on the little apple. Let it pull it down.
Right.
Go to settings. Go to displays. Why do I have to do that? When
Just make it easier.
When I have two screens on PC, it never does that.
Just make it easier.
This thing, if you don't use it for it's more than a day,
tonight.
Screw you. Your settings are changed.
I'm going to sleep.
And then I fired it up today. Got Streamlabs up. Love Streamlabs. It's not. It'll record, but it doesn't. There's no audio. You talk into it.
Right.
The thing moves around. You can see but it's not. The sound isn't coming from the microphone. But it won't record.
I don't
anything.
see this as a good Yelp review.
And I'm like, why is it doing that? So I've got Matt coming,
right.
And I'm like, we're in Studio B.
Yeah.
We finally made it.
the big times now.
And then it's not working. And I said, I looked at everything. I don't know. So I'm like, I remember my son saying, if it doesn't work, just turn it off and turn it back on. And I'm like,
that's what I do at work when I trucks. On and off.
Okay.
Okay.
So I turn it off. I turn it on. Lo and behold, everything's working because I put the banners in. You see where I put the banners in?
Yeah. So yeah.
People on YouTube, and I always have to explain. If I say, "Look at this,"
right,
and you're on Omni, or you're on Apple, if you're on Google,
it's over there.
Yeah,
right there.
If you're on Apple, if you're on Google, and you're listening to it, and I mentioned, "Look at this," don't look because you can't see it. I probably shouldn't have to say that, but. Don't say I couldn't see it. Yeah. Don't put it in the comments. I couldn't see it. You said you had the Serpo book, or you had a picture of this and that. Only in YouTube will you be able to see this. Right. Anyway, back to the show. That's your Apple corner for today.
Right. Yes. Good job.
So anyway, as well as a research project at Triangle Park, and so there's an underground facility also in Orange County underneath an office building.
That was interesting.
And then at an office building in Orange County.
Right.
And then there was a facility outside Seoul, South Korea. Wasn't in North Korea. A huge extraterrestrial craft downed with some electronic
tech. I heard that. Yeah.
So we shot the thing down. Good.
In a mountain.
And they had to carve out a huge part of the mountain to contain
to hide
the vehicle. And to bury it because it was too big.
Like a dog burying a bone.
It was too big to move from another site.
Right.
And had to bury it there.
Crazy.
This guy, Greers says, is going to tell us where this thing is.
Right.
And if it rained really hard and some of us exposed, we can look at Google Earth.
Yeah, let's see. I want to see pictures.
He says it's the very tip of the iceberg.
Yep.
There wasn't an iceberg.
That's
the very tip of the iceberg as to what all this is.
That's right.
Again,
June 10th,
government,
11th to 12th.
above we the people, up here.
Right.
So he's got what Greer's asking Congress. I don't know. Is he a lot more powerful than I think?
I don't know. It sounds like he is.
I'm going to ask Congress.
Or Bill.
Doug with Alien Pro Podcast is going to ask Congress
to do anything
to pass an explicit bill to protect whistleblower pensions as well as provide security witness protection.
To do that.
And put them in the federal marshal. It's that big.
Yeah.
To where people are going to come forward. I know I need to come. Yeah. And this isn't like
subpoenas and
there's going to be
prosecution.
So a senior exec in major corporations come forward, hopefully at these meetings, chairman of large corporations, like Lockheed. There's someone. He says it's going to be a large corporation that everybody knows the name of.
Yeah, he didn't want to say because he's like, you've heard of this place before.
Like Mattel toys.
Yeah, I'm like, what, is it Costco? Oh, wait, no, Mattel toys.
Probably Raytheon. My money.
So, right, because he's already said it. Is Raytheon?
My money's on Lockheed.
Oh, Lockheed, yeah.
I think Lockheed's doing the reverse engineering.
Yeah.
A group of people in Congress, hopefully at the open hearings, hopefully they will be there. You know, I don't know. And he mentioned that he wanted everybody to write their congressman.
Yes,
Write their whoever. It's going to be the largest disclosure event in history. Maybe the biggest historical event ever.
Ever, right, man.
I agree if it's true.
Yeah.
It'll be live. And the link will be live. Okay, you can
and he
go
didn't say if it was a cost link, right? I mean, are we going to?
Did not hear him mention there was going to be a price.
He
said $500.
Yeah, $500 a ticket was the lowest.
There's a link at the bottom of this. What's this guy's name? Blake.
Not Blake Shelton. That's country singer. Blake Cousins
of the Moon. What is this? The Moon.
Third phase of Moon.
So you go to Blake Cousins?
Yep.
Third Phase of the Moon, Steven Greer, or look up Steven Greer.
Yeah, or Disclosure Project.
Well, he did the Disclosure Project, but you want this Moon thing. And then at the end of this, if you want to get a link of how to look at, because allegedly you can click on this and it'll live stream.
Yes.
So we need to keep this handy.
This is kind of a setup for his new documentary movie, too.
Well, again, I don't know about Matt, but I think it's a money grab.
It feels that way. It really, really feels that way to me, too. Because, he's not joking on prices.
I hope it isn't. But
I'm sure it costs money to set all this up, but is it really cost $500?
Yeah, he says it's going to be Saturday and Sunday, 10 hours a day. I mean, you got to have... Man. Unless Steven can talk, though.
Yeah, right.
That guy could probably carry it 20 hours.
On his own. Yeah, no guests or no whistleblowers, no anybody.
Amazing new information on objects that were downed. What the extraterrestrial looked like. Right. Military witness sketches.
That blew me away. We're going to tell you.
By artists.
Yes, by artists. Yeah,
not just the military guy that's not that good of these crayons.
Stick figure. Saucer.
Stick figure with big eyes.
That would be mine. Stick figure.
Stick figure, big eyes with four fingers.
Yeah.
Artwork of Northrop. This is another name. These Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, Lockheed. They're man-made UFOs. How are they shaped? Each one of these. So he's basically stating that Grumman, Raytheon, and Lockheed have man-made UFOs. He's making that statement. So at the end of this, if none of this... Okay, you said... Steven,
right. You're going to hold him accountable.
That there's people from each of these companies
that are
going to tell us.
Accountability is going to be held here. This is a lot.
He says, okay, then there's the next phase of this. There's about 750 military whistleblowers that can be named.
Yep.
Some blacked out, redacted for security, but will testify, and it will be on a document that we can see.
700 terabytes or something like that.
It's some crazy
number.
Amount.
Crazy. All of it.
So, a master
List.
facilities
Yep.
list. Bases, corporate contacts, gates,
Yep.
code name, base underground location, entry
Right?
points.
Really? Do you want to put that out
And a
there?
document that's not redacted
Right.
for use by military, Congress, and White House to put teams together to investigate these activities
Right.
and get them under constant, we the people,
Right.
to drag this part of the government
Right.
into this part of the government.
Constitutional control.
They don't have control. We the people government doesn't have control over these,
Right.
at this time, don't have any oversight or control over these activities.
That's crazy.
So he's stating that once it gets into we the people,
Yeah.
everything will be public.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Wow.
Do you think it's going to be public? Because now
No.
the CIA's got it now.
Yeah, no.
Or if CIA is the non-we the
Yeah.
people, we don't know how it
Yeah,
works.
no. If
We
can't, if our military planes can't catch commercial planes, nothing's coming out. We're not giving away all our secrets to the rest of the.
We're elected. We don't have any control over these activities, and illegal secret government is a big problem. So Stephen is hoping that this event will solve this problem.
Crazy.
Black projects off the radar, even by the people that
Run
the black.
Yeah,
project.
I heard that part. Right. These are above the people that run the black project.
They don't even know the black projects are the people that have the black.
Right. Now we're really getting in deep.
It's the biggest scandal in the
History of the world. Yeah, I remember
that's
that.
saying something. There's been a lot of scandal.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking Clinton and LaMonica Lewinsky scandal. I thought that was pretty big.
That dress. I really love that dress.
And he's gonna. Oh, and there's gonna be a screening of a Steven Greer
This is totally set up for the movie.
Is Lost Century and How to Reclaim It.
Yeah.
It seems like
It's almost like an intro for the movie.
So the whistleblower. How do they get? Are we good on time? You need to get to.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. I'm totally good.
I wanted to ask you. The Marine?
Yes. So that would be my wife's cousin's son, and he is going into the Marine. So we're going to celebrate and go to the park.
What's his MOS? What's his job?
Oh goodness, I don't know. I'm so horrible.
We want information. Just
yeah. I will get a disclosure.
You are going to be at the lake tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today.
Today. Yes. Woo-hoo. I'm not getting in the lake, but I'll cheer from the side.
Matt's not a big water person.
No
I got
water.
a pool, Matt. Want to go swimming?
No. I cheer from the side.
Debbie doesn't swim either.
You need a drink? Oh, really? You got a ball on your tongue.
She built this pool after. Well, the pool was here, but we did a gigantic remodel.
Right.
And after we're done.
Right. It's just like, I'm never going to get
that pool here that was. This pool was 16 years old.
Oh, jeez.
More than that. Well, it didn't. Oh, actually, it was older than 16.
Right.
Because this house was built in like 59.
Right.
And it did have water in it for 16 years because it was leaking. So they just decided to let it. Her and her husband, who has passed.
Yeah.
They decided just don't put water in it.
Right.
So you just clean out the worms and the leaves all the time.
Right.
So when I came to the scene, she says, "What do you want to?" I go, "What do you want to do with this? Because it's dangerous."
Right.
And
big hole in your yard.
I'll be drinking and walking back here, and I'll fall in.
Make a skateboard park out of it.
Yeah, I could have.
Yeah.
And she says, "What do you want to do?" And I go, "Well, I always wanted, I had an above ground pool at my last house, which isn't very fun."
No, those suck.
And she goes, "Well, you want to put a pool in?" Or I go, "You can implode it for like $7,000. You can just have somebody implode it.
And
they'll fill it in with dirt." And he goes, "Then what are we going to do?" I go, "I don't know, tennis court." 'Cause it's a pretty big area.
It is.
And she goes, "What do you want to do?" And I go, "I always wanted a regular pool." She goes, "Okay." So she footed the bill for a new pool. Premier.
It looks amazing.
I will. Well, thank you.
Yes.
I didn't design it.
Yep.
This is a Premier Pools and Spas, and they did a great job. I'll give them a plug.
Awesome.
They're a great company. So anyway, I didn't miss anything. So the whistleblowers go through the website. I don't say it, but
yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
Right.
Why? How do they contact you? Well, they sign in on the website and they give their information.
Right. Serious.
This, so Steven's disclosure thing gets back to him, and then there's a helicopter.
Oh boy.
We're not even done. We're not even up.
And they're already
the
sitting.
episode's not even uploaded yet, and they're already coming.
So windows go.
Yeah, all of a sudden we just
everybody on the
just
floor.
gonna crash into us like Hangar 18.
You're right.
You ever see Hangar 18?
I didn't even hear that. Yes. I didn't even hear that. You gotta hear it.
Full of bombs gonna fall on us.
They're like, oh shoot, he's right. There is a helicopter. It is hovered above the house right now. So we're gonna get this out before they shut us down.
It'll take me long enough to upload off Apple. So anyway, 2 or 3 new whistleblowers each week, he says, which is
that is nuts. 2 or 3 each week, leading up to the 10th, 11th, 12th. Yeah, that's crazy.
New legislation.
That helicopter's hanging around.
Yeah, they are. A little concerned now.
Yeah, no, right. I told you we would talk about this.
Outside and see what kind of
Yeah. Oh, there is somebody dropping from the sky.
Doesn't sound. There's a lot of ropes coming
they
down.
They just went right in your pool.
People sliding down ropes and things.
We have FBI in my pool.
Met with the South. Okay. He
House.
states that he met with. I don't know if he met with the House of Representatives.
Yeah, I don't know how he said that.
They want to have open. Well, he wants them to. He wants the House at least,
right,
to have open hearings on the disclosure project. We're not putting that helicopter noise in here.
Yeah, he is. There's a button. He's got it, and it's like effects. We just thought it would add to the show.
They just want to drown us out.
Yeah. There's a green pool. Send in the crews.
So yeah, the first draft is an overview of the 5 terabyte document.
That's nuts.
Archive
That's a lot.
that has
1 terabyte's a lot.
That has all the information.
Yep, he said everything.
And all this information is going in there. He's going to hand it off to investigators. So we the people government, so everybody knows how he wants this to work. We the people is going to get the 5 terabyte book of information.
Yep. That's
not redacted or anything.
All out there.
The chopper went away. Now I guess we're okay.
Okay, we're good. He dropped off their people.
And
they're in front of the house. So
the people on the wrong side of the law will be running scared.
Yeah, and should be.
That's a quote from Steven Greer.
And should be, as he said.
Get on the right side of the law.
That's right, buddy. You better get right.
What he's stating, there will be a limited amnesty. So what he's proposing.
Subpoenas and I keep wanting to say
prosecution.
Yeah, prosecution.
If you can come forward, let's say a 1 year or 2 year.
Right.
You can't be 2 months. So
yeah.
It's going to have to be a long time to even process these people.
Yep.
So that are going to give it up.
That's crazy.
You can come forward, tell all.
Yep.
Get in the witness protection program
That's
if you're
right.
high enough up, or at least your pensions will be safe,
covered. Yeah.
I was under the impression, and I heard somewhere, where the pensions aren't administered by
right. It's a different
the
company.
government.
No, it's a whole different.
It's administered by a pension.
It's an institution.
Company.
Yeah, it's
and
a different.
They can't
touch
do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Legally, they can't.
Yep, I heard the same thing.
If that came out that somebody did that,
that's a problem.
Then you make that public.
right. And then that's
you go, problem. Okay, I talked about this, and then this happened.
And it happened, exactly.
So you
that's
can
a big
do stuff
paper trail.
to me, but you can't take my pension.
That's a huge paper trail.
So then after the after the amnesty runs out, anybody's still doing this stuff, and again, these people are making a lot of money, allegedly.
Yep.
And that they aren't going to want the faucet to be shut off, so they'll either give it up or just say, "Well, I'm hanging tight with the we the people
right.
that are up there."
Right.
So, and this is the biggie. This is what we've talked about. Isn't even the biggest thing that needs to happen. He wants this to institute a civilian RICO action.
Yep.
And prosecute the we the people that are caught.
The bad people.
Yes. Under RICO, mob style.
Wrong side of the law.
So and if you think about it, I mean, I don't know if he's grasping at straws, but that would be a good way to do it.
Right, because he can't do anything. Basically, is what he's saying. We can't do anything, but we can do this.
But if it's kind of like if you think about it, it is kind of like the mob.
Right. If
you think about mob activities,
a lot of hidden money,
prostitution first, but drugs, alcohol, booze, back when prohibition.
Yeah.
It's like that's the way it was back then.
That's right.
And then so they were the above. If you think about it,
yeah.
they were the government.
Yep.
Because if you ever seen, I just watched The Untouchables.
Oh yeah, great.
You know, and what a great movie. But if you think about it, you know, when Capone went to, you know, when he was the tax evasion thing and he was in court,
right.
He didn't think they could take. What are they going to do?
Right,
Right. You know, I own the jury.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but then it turned out that, I don't want to give away the plot, but then it turned out that the judge was on the list, but he wasn't really.
Right.
That was kind of weird. So he must have been guilty of something.
Yeah. We're going to get you on somebody.
But they wanted prosecuted under the RICO Act, racketeering mob style.
Yep.
So, but Greer says that he needs
It's
a civilian RICO action.
Right.
It's like, well, the government.
Yeah.
Back in the day when they did RICO, was it? And not as familiar with it as
me neither. I didn't even know what he was talking about.
I don't think this public said we need to do the RICO action.
Right?
Is the government unwilling to do this? Because also you have to remember, Clinton wanted to know about all this.
Right.
He as the We the People president.
Yep.
He wanted to know what's going on.
Right.
In the government that's above the government.
That's right.
And George W. Bush waved him off.
Yeah.
George Sr.
He's like
waved him off and says, and remember, he was the CIA director.
That's right. That's right.
So he knew about this shit.
Yep.
There's a lot of conjecture about this. This is the CIA.
Right.
Because the CIA typically can operate above what they say. Yep. I don't really know personally.
Right.
Again, we're spewing forth profusely.
So don't come after us.
So don't come after me. You know,
right.
He was waved off by Bush. And there's a person that was there.
That's right.
When Clinton was informed by
W
to not pursue. He's W, right? He's the big one.
Yes, he's the big one.
Reptilian. He says, don't pursue it. Don't push it. This is not for you.
Yeah.
And so this person witnessed that. He's going to come forward.
Yep.
Trillions of dollars in patents could be realized. Some of the patents have already been realized.
Yep.
That money is within, they think, Raytheon, Lockheed. It's private. And that's how I've always said, if you want this thing to not come out, you can keep it private. Because companies can keep stuff a secret.
You can't foil that.
But the government has a disclosure with the FOIA and that kind of thing. And we know how good FOIA is because
we just did one.
I just did one on Serpo
in less than an hour.
You know, and in less than an hour.
Sorry,
EIA, buddy. Defense Intelligence says, okay, I did it. We don't FOIA talked about it.
We don't know what you're talking about.
I submitted it on one day, like on a Wednesday, and by 7th, which would have been around 7:30, 8 o'clock their time, and by 7:30 in the morning Eastern. They already told me, sorry, we don't know anything about it.
No. Yeah, what are you talking about?
They were just laughing the whole time.
They passed it around the office.
Yeah, so, you know, what are you going to do? So, basically, that's the story.
Yep.
And I'm sticking to it. So, that's what's going to happen. So, that's all I've got.
Hey.
So, and now everybody knows this is what's going to happen.
That's right.
Again, everybody, thank you. Serpo has been huge. So, thanks for the downloads. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for listening to the Alien Pro podcast. This is our latest episode. We welcome comments, questions, or requests to alienpropodcast@gmail.com. Visit us on Facebook. Check out our website at alienprobe.net. I wonder if I can get the cursor to come down here. Awesome.
Hey.
So check out our Twitter and Instagram at alienprobepod. Check out, like, and subscribe YouTube at Alien Pro Podcast. Thank you, Matt, for joining me again.
Thank you for having me.
I'll have you again as soon as this comes out.
That's right. We're gonna
watch it.
Yes.
We'll make some notes on it, and we'll let you know how much of this came to fruition. Thanks for listening. Watch the skies. See you next time.